let's go for a drive in my Mark III Ford Focus RS edition. So, in my Mark III Ford Focus RS edition for a drive, we are on 61,372 miles. Yeah, you might have remembered when basically my collection video, the first drive, I was on about sort of like 59,600, so I've done a few miles. But yeah, let's have a bit of a drive. This is the exact same location, literally the exact same spot where I said let's go for a drive in my Mark 7 Golf R. And yeah, just to tell you how I'm kind of getting on with this car, how I'm finding it. But let's fire her up for you guys. So yeah, foot on the clutch. She roars into life, nice and warm. You do get this nice, that's basically the only thing you get. Well, I turn off the display. In terms of like cool performance-y stuff. But one thing I want to say is economy's been pretty good actually. I mean, okay, 26.5 there. But I went to Wales, yeah. I mean, look at that, distance to empty, 342 miles. Pretty good for, well, what my car is, 440 brake horsepower. I think that's really, really good. Yeah, and I've just seen JM on Cars, James reviewed my car, and yeah, he sent me the footage just to go over it before he put it live, and I do kind of agree with a few of it, well, some of his points, not all of them. So yeah, I'd recommend you checking that out. Yeah, I'll leave it in the description actually, because he's done some proper great camera work actually on it. But yeah, and I want to have a little bit of a chat of, as well as what, you know, I'm always one looking for the future. I love both my cars. This car is a dream car for me, to be honest with you, and the Mark 7 Golf R is great, and a bit more of a daily, just do everything kind of car. But what could potentially come after this in the future was something that I could be excited about. And I have been thinking about one thing, and it is a newer Ford, but it might not be necessarily the one you would think. Let's go for a drive and yeah, let's talk about this. So here we go then, off for a drive. Yeah, I gotta say, every time I get out in this car, it feels special to me, and I absolutely do love it to bits. Yeah, into first gear with the short shifter. So if you're not familiar with my car, it's Revo Stage 2. These cars are about 350 brake horsepower stock. Mine is 440, so it's a little bit more. And it's ultimately, the main thing is it's just so much fun. We're in normal at the moment, but I'm going to pop it straight into sport because that's what I like. And I will actually do a decent drive in track mode because I haven't really experienced it in track, and I'm going to try it with the, well, full-on suspension. You can adjust it to make it firmer or not so firm. But yeah, I have to say I much prefer the steering in sport. It's just got a lot more feel to it. It does exactly what it does in my Golf R, to be fair, in race mode. It just makes it a little bit more firmer, so you kind of know where you're going. The throttle becomes a little bit more responsive. Yeah, it's my preferred mode, particularly when having fun or just normal driving. It's certainly good. Some of the things that I've experienced over the time in this car, well, actually just now one of them hit me. The roads in the UK are just all over the place, particularly with the really cold weather, the wet weather, and today is actually one of the hottest days I've driven this car. It's 14 degrees at the moment. They hit a huge pothole just coming up here, not too far. It was just one of those ones where I was like, fucking hell, that's going to like rip the tyre to shreds. These 19-inch forged wheels, and you don't want to buckle anything. Luckily I was just going under about 37 miles an hour, so quite low for what the actual speed limit was there. So I'll have a little look around it. I'm sure it's fine, certainly driving fine. But yeah, one thing you have to think about with these kind of cars, that is certainly for sure. Now it is half term, it's Easter, we've got Easter 2 weeks, so there's lots of people around. Whipsnade Zoo there, people taking pictures in the zoo, and yeah, too right, enjoy it. But this is what it's like now in 2023. If you want to come out, have a cool drive and enjoy some nice roads, these are certainly some of my favourites. I have to say, one of the biggest things for me is definitely the whooshes from like the turbo, and some sort of like, it's obviously got the air tech bits with the intercooler, which I'm really looking forward to experiencing when it gets a little bit hotter in the coming months, because yeah, these cars do suffer from heat soak, so that's going to be a bit interesting. But yeah, over the ownership so far, it's been absolutely fine. in terms of how I've been enjoying it. The one thing that did happen though, the front was leaking, which was worrying, not exactly what I really wanted to see after I just purchased a car. And it turned out it was windscreen washer liquid, and the whatever it is, the case needed to be replaced, and also one of the windscreen washer jets just wasn't there or something like that. That needed to be replaced. That got replaced at a company called SCC Performance, who actually did all the modifications and stuff on this car back in 2019, and they're quite reputable. And yeah, it's right next door to me in St Albans, so it seems I live there. So it's all handy. I actually let the person who sold me the car in South Yorkshire near the Peak District know about it, and credit to him where credit's due. He covered the costs, so that was very nice. And yeah, the car's all been fine since, no leaks. It's just been really top drawer. And yeah, certainly I mean, I'm smiling ear to ear. It's just what Fords are like. But here's a good example. There is a Fiesta, right, in a cool looking colour. That's what I'm going to get onto, because I was thinking, what would I go for from this car? You know, these are kind of like my second side cars. This is a dream car, and I don't say that word lightly, and I don't say that word just to get views. I say it because it's my dream car. When I collected my Mark 7 Golf R, I never said it was a dream car. It was a great car. When I had the Fiesta ST200, I never said it was a dream car. You know, it's a good car. This is definitely on my list as a dream car. And if you want to know my other one dream car, it would be a 981 Cayman GT4. So if that ever happens, that is what would be said. I also do like the 981 GTS, but dream wise, the GT4 is probably the one. So what could come after this? I don't know how long I'll keep the car. I'm certainly going to keep it. I'm at Bewley in the New Forest on the 21st of May, I think it is, for their like Simply Ford stuff with the car, so that'll be great. But I'll get to sort of June and I'll sort of see where I'm at with the car. Bear in mind I do have two cars. But what would come after this? You know, depending how long I decide to keep this one. And I was very much thinking of a Mark 8 Ford Fiesta ST Edition. Now you might be thinking, no, not ST Edition, sorry, Performance Edition, so this the orange car. There's a couple of reasons for that. One, I like my second cars to be quite limited and rare. My ST200 was sub like 1,000 cars made. This is obviously 500 cars made. There was 600 made of the Performance Edition. The second thing is they're coming up to about 4 years old, some of those cars now, which is pretty handy if you are a person like me who likes getting second-hand cars. And I'm also kind of like a, you know, I'll be completely honest with you, I'm a cash buyer, so I don't have to really worry about interest rates going high or anything like that. And if anything, it works in my favour, because it means the actual cash price of cars are coming down quite nicely. Boom. So yeah, anyway, I was looking at that, and there was some for like £19,000, and I was just like, 19 grand for that. Bear in mind that they're discontinuing the Fiesta ST. I've always been a Fiesta ST fan. I had my ST2 from 2013, my Mark 7.5, then I had the ST200. Before that, all I'd owned is Fiestas, so I've always enjoyed them. It's an interesting one to obviously go from something like this to that. I probably would want it stock, but some of the big things for me is, well, it's just quite a fun car just out of the bat. It's very fun, and I've driven a lot of Mark 8 Fiestas STs and I do like them. So that was just on my thought, and yeah, a 2020 car, maybe, we'll have to see. But anyway, that was on my head. But for now, I'm very much in the moment of absolutely enjoying this car. I mean, oh my god. And the biggest thing, if I'm ever thinking about going to Fiesta ST, is simply the weight. This is quite a cool car, but it weighs 1,520, 1,530 kilos. It's not a light car, whereas you can get like the Fiesta STs are like 1,200 kilos, similar to like a GR Yaris kind of level. So that's the big difference. Anyway, that aside, what else has been going on with this car? Well, I'll be honest, I think it's been great. I went up to Wales, North Wales, I mean there and back, it was a good 320, 330 miles. I drove a Litchfield GR Yaris and I drove a BMW M3 from a friend and a subscriber. It's an amazing collection of cars. And this car was great, just cruising up, you know, it's M1, it's M6, yeah, through Birmingham, and I loved it. And I got decent economy as well, you know. In fact, actually, I got ridiculous economy. In fact, you might actually say, Sam, you drive like, I don't know, you just don't deserve this car or whatever, but I drive like I like. I got 38.4 miles per gallon there and back. So there you go, and this car's tuned, so I don't know if the Revo tune has helped economy, but you know, 6 gear sort of cruising 50-60 miles an hour, then going up to 70 at times, but never really going any more than that because that's the limit. And also it's a long journey, I like to chill with a few stop-offs as well. It was awesome. And you know, I have had my bike in the back of here and it's been great. I've got a duathlon this Saturday and I can easily take this if I want to. I'll probably take my Golf R just for a bit more incognito-ness. So that's been good. I have had passengers in here and I'm not gonna lie, I don't think passengers like this car at all, which is a bit of an interesting one. Pretty much all the people I've had in here and my close friends are not exactly car people, so yeah, I can't say. I think they prefer the Golf, which makes sense. I've had other people who are getting, well, another friend's collecting his Lamborghini and his Turbo S anytime soon, which I'm super excited for him. And he didn't exactly like it. He wanted it to go more comfortable. I mean, we're in its most comfortable setting. We'll go track mode on the way back. So for passengers, yeah, it's not so great, but what it does make up for is it is still a Focus. The seats are really super supportive, which I actually do feel helps for comfort. It just keeps you in. You're not getting thrown about, you're sort of stuck in these fixed seats. Something that like a GR Yaris or normal cars were sort of like, I'd kind of call them, they're not buckets, but they're sort of pretending to be buckets. These are full on. They're like genuinely the sort of stuff you would get in, you know, the BMW M3. It was like 8 grand for those carbon bucket seats. Or if you've ever driven a Porsche, you know, like you get the 981 bucket seats, they're called 918 bucket seats, I should say, and this is like that, and I make no mistake about that. So these fixed Recaros are great. I find the seating position really good. I don't know if the previous owner has lowered the seats on a bracket, because all I heard was people saying it was too high, but I find it absolutely perfect for me. I'm about 5'11", so a lot of things have been great. It's no doubt a quick car and a fun car, and I do actually like sort of cruising and settle, because then when you're really on it, it sort of comes out of nowhere and you get the whooshes from the turbo and the intakes, yeah, the air filter, all that kind of stuff, and it's great. And a few little pops and bangs for my inner child to entertain my younger self. Now in my 30s. Yeah, hey, my 5-year-old self would be very, very happy with me for having this car. But anyway, as we turn back, I think I'm going to have to go for it and go for track mode, aren't I? Well, you guys are with me, so you can see exactly what this track mode stuff is like. So to get into track mode, you press drive mode and you go bang. Okay, here we go. So this is going to limit the traction control a bit by itself, but not, I don't believe it's all the way off. Fucking hell, I'm feeling it's quite firm already. I can individually change the suspension settings. Oh my god, this is firm. I'm not just saying this. What the hell? So if you really wanted to annoy your passengers, or if you didn't like someone, a friend had upset you, stick it in this mode. Oh my god. I don't know if you can tell. If you're getting any bad audio, by the way, I think it's the seatbelt, the top of the seatbelt rattles a little bit, the seatbelt holder, so apologies for that. But yeah, you can probably hear me, I'm nattering on. this does loosen the traction control a bit. I don't think it's all the way off. I imagine it's one of those ones you hold down to get it all the way off. Okay, I'm not risking that. Oh, okay, so it's a little bit more loose. Oh, wow. I just love it. Every sort of bang, bang, bang. Oh, okay. Well, that's one thing it definitely does do. Now, this car is very good in the corners, but obviously, if you imagine that if the dampers go more fixed like it is now, guess what? You're gonna get better cornering. There's no denying that. That felt quite good chucking it around there. I've got to slow down. You can see the speedo anyway, so I'm not going to go over the speed limit. Yeah, the steering I don't think has changed again. I guess it's only got the 2 where it goes comfort and, well, normal and race. My Golf R has 3 different versions for reference. Unfortunately, we're stuck behind what looks like some sort of van, but not much we can do about that. I've got a nice Ford pickup truck behind me trying to keep up with me. The pops are just like brang. But I think it's the character of the car because it does it as normal. It's certainly an entertaining car. I mean, hey, this is just super fun and really capable. Hey, this is the longest, I mean, this first on camera, it's the longest I've been in. I don't know what he's doing. What is that guy doing? Look at that. Anyway, his funeral, I guess. The guy with a number plate 2CWM, I think, something like that. Well, you guys saw it, so fuck knows. I don't know what's wrong with people these days. But yeah, okay, I'm getting used to the fixed suspension. I say fixed, it's firm. Wow, he got far in that pickup, 2 cars ahead of me. It's a fellow Ford driver as well. Oh, God. If I was in the Golf R, I bet he wouldn't have done that. Yeah, these roads are actually quite smooth and the way they flow. But this suspension is alright. But again, I'm the driver, so I'm more in control. As a passenger, it's difficult. It's just difficult. Yeah, if I wasn't driving the GR Yaris and the M3 so much in North Wales, obviously 2 unbelievable cars, and you know I have access to this all the time. I don't have access to the owner's cars all the time, sadly, until I move there. I didn't get to drive this as much around North Wales, but fucking hell, when I was, it was just so good. See, right now it feels like a track car to me. We've got one more setting of drift mode. I mean, I'm not going to do drift mode. Just going to be honest. And I think that it was a big win for me, the journey back and forth to Wales, and obviously even visiting James on cars. It was a big trip as well to go to Essex, and then he was then obviously going to drive my car as well, and I didn't want anything to go wrong with it, knowing the history of Focus RS's or what I've heard online. Hey, the car's done alright. You know, temperatures have always stayed really low, which has been the one thing I keep an eye on, and nothing's really gone. Like, I mean, it's a road car, so I mean the brakes aren't exactly gonna go. Oh, wow, you can feel the fixed suspension on round corners. And I like how it doesn't pop and bang unless it's based on your throttle. Yeah, I don't know how often the previous owners would have driven it in this mode, but for me, yeah, I'm starting to get a little bit tired now, but I'm holding on. I'm going to hold on and keep it in racetrack just for you guys. Obviously a little bit less traction control. You know, I really did find this car quite nicely balanced at the rear, and it does pivot around you actually quite nicely, similar to a Fiesta ST, particularly in sport mode. You really do actually, you get a good idea. You feel it through basically through your seat. That's basically it. Not so much from the front wheels, although the Quaife diff is very good on power. It's really, really good. Yeah, I could drive this in track, but unless I can drive this on a track in track mode, I don't know if I'm ever going to do that in this car. But yeah, and as the speeds get slower, track mode with that suspension is just not so great. Oh. I mean, maybe it's just a bit of a, I'm seeing the world through rose-tinted glasses, I don't know, but it feels a little bit looser with the traction control, which is nice. Fucking hell, it's quick. This is one of my favourite sort of twisty roads, and it's national speed limit, which is always handy. Yeah, that's pretty sweet actually. I got so much confidence. What was that, 52 miles an hour? And that was not even washing wide or anything. Oh, nice, 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 nice. Wow. Oh man, my ears are popping. Keep it in track mode, but I'm going to turn the suspension off. Do I hold it? Yeah, okay. So we're back in its more comfortable setting, but in track mode. So a little bit of another drive mode to play with. And straight away, oh, so much more compliant. And you can see these roads are not bad around here. This car's good, and this is on a full tank of fuel as well. You know, it's Easter. I'm eating slightly more, so I weigh slightly more. Actually, trying to bulk a little bit for my duathlon. I know people might look at me and think I'm not, but I do try with my weight. Yeah, so as you can probably tell, I'm loving the car, and anyone who's got one, you know, I think you should love it too. I'm actually going to go to a Ford meet later tonight in Hertfordshire, so see how many people are about. It's probably going to rain, but it's a big part of the car as well, a big part of the community. But there we go, a big fun car. What else to mention? Yeah, in terms of like where I park this car, particularly because it's in nitrous blue, I think if it was in grey I wouldn't mind. I do think about it more than I do with the Golf. I do have my own private driveway, my private parking, and I you know, I'm not going to go to like you know, I go for like workshops and things like that. I'm just going to go in the Golf. I'm not going to see clients or anything like that in this car. That's pretty obvious. But I'm also probably not really that comfortable with parking it on the road, even when seeing friends and family, if I don't know the area. You know, whereas the Golf, I could get away with it. So those are things you've got to think about. I mean, you might have a different tolerance to me, and you might be all right with it, but that's where I'm at. Yeah, it definitely feels, I mean, with the traction control slightly set, like, I think it's a halfway house at the moment. I need to really look it up, what it does in track mode. Someone can let me know in the comments. It definitely feels like even more playful. Like when I put my foot down, I'd slow down here because of the bump. It's giving me all 440 horsepower. but there's loads of crap on the road here. I mean, I don't know, people just throwing out cardboard or something, I don't know. This is what you just got to deal with just like the steering just goes really like soft and light. Yeah, there we go. There's the drive in my Golf. He took a chance there as well. I mean, what are people doing? Right, I love the car. Let me know any questions you have in the comments, and yeah, I really do appreciate your support. Subscribe for more content. The more subscribers, the more stuff I can do. Yes, I have these 2 cars, but I love going out and checking out other hot hatches as well with my lovely loyal subscribers. So yeah, cheers guys, have a good one.